Great. So, big surprise. We're going to start with the wrist push-ups. So pushing up on my knuckles and slowly coming down. All right, you can make it easier by placing the knees closer, and you can make it harder by moving the knees away from the hands. But just want them to be nice and controlled. So no dropping down. I want to be nice and controlled on the way down and on the way up. All right. So we're going to point our fingers to the outside here. I'm just going to lean towards one side, feel a little bit of a stretch, and towards the other side. And you can actually just decide a tempo for yourself and how long you want to hold the stretch inside. Whatever feels nice for you. All right, we're going to point our fingers back towards ourselves. And we're just going to set back towards our heels. You can either just hold it or you can bounce it a bit back and forth, whatever feels nice for you. All right. Mount. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a few repetitions of the acrobat's morning prayer. Before. You don't have to do more than, I would say, maximum 5 repetitions. We don't want to get too wrecked just yet. Just want to get our muscles, our shoulders, and everything firing. So I'm going to put my hands at about my knees. I just want my shoulders to be at least above my hands. I'm going to try to press down to the ground and letting my hands and my shoulders, my arms, be the main driver of the movement. Push down until I get up to this position. If you can't get your legs straight, just get them as straight as possible. It's fine if you just do here. Hold it for a little bit, then slowly lower down. Try to keep as much weight in the hands as possible. So I can help as much as I need by pressing with my legs as well, but I try to control everything through my arms. All right, give it a few tries. Okay, and you are welcome to let your fingers point a little bit more to the outside if it's a little bit hard for your wrist just now. It's fine. Good, Hilda. And you can think in the top position, you're basically trying to make your feet float off the ground. Great. Good, Albert. All right. Good, Hilda. Albert, are you in your room with the not so tall ceiling? Are you able to do full handstands today?
I am in my room with not so tall ceiling.
Okay, it's no problem, but it's just nice to know that I don't, ask you to do a full handstand and and you're like, "Merp, it's not possible." Yeah, but it makes balancing easier, and it makes one-arm handstands possible. So no problem, Albert.
Albert, can't you be outside if you get warm?
I could be outside, but it's not so good ground.
Merp.
And it's kind of cold.
No problem. All right, we're gonna move on. So we're just gonna start doing some entrance work. All right. So we're gonna start. Most of us is just gonna start with the basic kick up. Now, if you have the kick up pretty much under control, like a lot of you do, just want you to first of all change between the legs, and I also want you to try to make the kick up as slow as controlled as possible, as we've done before. Now, if you're still working on your kick up, then I want you to do the variation where I have the wall behind me and I'm trying to kick up and just get to the point where I'm just, getting my top foot to touch the wall, but so lightly that I wouldn't break my friend's nose if he was standing up against the wall. All right. And for you, Albert, I just want you to do the tuck up against the wall, but thinking just for now, because we're just starting out, you want to hit the wall. You're gonna jump up with your back towards the wall, and you want your toes to just very lightly come in and touch the wall, but very controlled and very nice and smooth. Good. Okay, so the ones of you who are doing a controlled, trying to slow down the kick up as much as possible, just a cue that I want you to try out and see how that works for you. But it's just thinking that you're trying to lift up into the handstand by lifting through the back leg. Makes sense? So it's just that as I come down, I think what's gonna pull me control into the handstand, of course, pushing hard from my shoulders into the ground, but also lifting this back leg as much into place as I can. Because if you're very flexible and you can almost get into an inverted spagat, then you're almost in the handstand position before before this bottom leg leaves the ground. So the higher you can get this leg out up, the easier it's gonna be for you to make a nice and controlled increment. All right, so just try to think that it's lifting, trying to almost touch the ceiling with the back leg on the way up. All right. Good, Hilda. Nice, nice, nice. Good, Clara. Good, Albert. All right. So let's move on. Okay, so Hilda, I think if you're up for it, just to finish up the nice easing into it, I think we should just do kneeling entrances. And I want you to just like get into do a kneeling entrance to all of the basic positions, basically. Do a kneeling entrance to tuck, do a kneeling one to straddle, bum, bum, bum. And the goal is to manage to hit all of the basic positions, in one go without failing an attempt. All right. And Clara and Andres, you are allowed to do but I think you could do the same challenge, but you can also do it from instead of doing it from kneeling, you can also do it from standing. All right, you follow? Great. Okay, and Albert, do you have room to do the a jump into a straddle position? Let's do that. And Thor, can you do tuck jumps with your back? Right, and you do a few of those against the wall. Good, Thor. Very good. Nice. Super nice, Thor. Very good. Okay, Thor, but can I see one way where you do it with your back against the wall, but you're trying not, you're going to jump up, but the goal is to not touch the wall. You want to stop the handstand, just without touching it. Yeah. Great. Looking good, Clara. Okay, So Hilda and Clara, and hello Anna. the tuck ups are generally looking good, but just like a small concept to think of. You know, in the starting position from the tuck ups, it's basically this one, right? And the acrobat's morning prayer that we just did, doing this kind of movement. Oops. So in the morning prayer, the acrobat's morning prayer, we're trying to do it using as much muscle power as possible, right? That also means we can maximize control throughout the movement. But I want you to see if you can find the feeling of, you know, when we're doing the jump ups from a tuck position, of course, we're going to want to use our legs more, but we want to think about still trying to control the movement by pressing into the ground from our shoulders, actually. Does it make sense? To just think about already from this position, thinking of the jump as a little bit more of a hybrid between just jumping and pressing. Good. Very good control, Andres. Looking so nice. Very, very good.
It all depends. Wearing shorts makes it easier. All of it.
Definitely.
Hilda, you should get shorts.
Great. Okay. So on Albert. So I think we're gonna keep doing a little bit of the same, but Albert, you know, when you kick into the straddle, it's looking fine right now. It's a little bit of a harder entrance for you because basically it gets a little bit easier if you have a wider straddle that you can open up into it. But just keep thinking about that you're trying to open up as far as possible, and you can make you know, slowly over time make better use of the range of motion that you have. But I want you to just like do the same thing as you've been doing, both the attempts where you manage to find some nice balance, and only if the balance is nice, see if you can get down into a tuck. All right, so just gonna play around with that. And Tor, on your nice tuck attempts, I think we should just like see if how it goes going into a full position, because I mean you can do that, so why not do it?
To do what exactly? Did you
So
say?
jump up into a tuck position.
Yeah, and then.
You know, so only try to go to the straight if you manage to find the nice position. You know, you have under control. Just try to open up into the straight one. All right?
Yeah, I'll try.
Good, Tor. Good. Hilda, it looks like the control actually looks better in the ones that I've managed to catch sight of on. I mean, you already had a nice solid tuck up basically, but just like getting a little bit more control from the shoulders can make it even more, you know, secure, if that's the right word to use.
Yeah, Yeah, it was a good cue, the hybrid thing. Or I think I've been mostly like trusting my legs that day. Or I know the movement. So I haven't been thinking about the shoulders so much, but it feels like more calm, more certain.
Yeah, I think for me at least, a nice analogy is also the same thing as when doing, partner acrobatics. If you want to jump into a handstand, and it's nice if you have the connection all the time. You're not feeling this weightlessness at any moment, but you feel like you always have some kind of connection.
That's my problem.
Exactly.
But yeah,
But it's
I
same
know what you
principle,
mean.
just by having the floor as your partner instead. So you have to do all the balancing at the same time. Okay, but actually both for you, Hilda, and also Clara and Andres. Nice, Clara, very good. Yes. Flop out.
That was my first try.
That was super good. Very good. So nice. And I was just about to say that I think we should just continue with these entrances. But now you can get into position changes, and then find the balance in the position that you're going to go into, or if you need to change the position, go into another one. And then let's get the chin to chest and start working a little bit on that. All right, and adding that into the mix. And if that works well, we can also add in some shape changes. All right. All right on. And Tor, can I see a nice tuck to straight? Now, no pressure, but I'm watching you. Nice, Tor, very good. Cool. Okay, Tor. It's just like very common thing that happens when you try to straighten from a tuck. Is you very easily, instead of straightening, yeah, exactly. One thing that can help when you're just going to try that out now is just thinking about following the wall. So when you jump up, you want your feet to be, you're aiming to be just a centimeter off the wall with your feet, and slightly off the wall, and you're just going to aim to keep the same distance. And just thinking about that might help you. Cool. Albert? Okay, Albert, we're just going to change slightly this shape changing we've been working with. Okay. So let's do a few, and I think we're going to reverse it in a bit, but get into the straddle. And then instead of going straight into the tuck, get into the diamond position first. Okay. And from there, just closing the knees. All right. Good, Albert. Nice try.
Yeah, I managed to jump straight into the tuck. No, straddle balance.
Yeah, I saw it. It was good. Very good. Okay, we're going to do the same thing a few more times. And then Albert, I just want you to try to reverse it, like jump into a tuck, and then from the tuck position, open up into the diamond, and then from the diamond, open up into the straddle. Yeah. Nice, Andreas.
I did something for the first time.
Yeah.
I changed from full to straddle while changing the head as well.
Yeah, I saw that, but it looked solid, so I didn't think it was the first time.
I've never tried before.
Super nice. That's very cool, Andreas. It's looking good, Hilda. The changes. Just I think you can also, I mean, I've also seen you do it before, but when closing from the straight into the tuck again, I mean, it's weird because you have to also change the shoulder position a little bit, but just try to take a little bit more time with the movement.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, is there any like cues for that? Because I feel like I have the shoulders so open, then when I bring in the legs, it's like it never works.
But I would say, can you try it one more time? And the only thing you're going to change differently now is just you're going to try to take a little bit more time to do the movement.
Yeah.
And then we can always see if there's something else we should adjust.
I think I'm just not super smooth with my shoulders. So it's like the movement is like this. And with the legs, I try to go smoothly, but it's, yeah.
I mean,
I just have to do it more times.
Yeah, it looked a little bit better now. But I also think, I don't think there's any like specific cues. That there's not anything specific that is like, okay, this part is completely out of place. I think it is mostly just like getting more secure, because the move, like the changing between the two is also going to be easier if your pike, for example, is just rock steady and no movement. So you have, you know, more mental capacity, just like relax and think, okay, now I'm going to do it, and just slowly get into place.
Yeah. Maybe I will try to go into the 7 and then open up to the straddle again, because maybe that's a bit easier than going to the tuck.
It might. Yeah, I would say that that's probably pretty much personal. What's going to be easy is going to the tuck or the straddle, but try it out, because it could be very nice.
I must say that our camera is very annoying because it's super wide and I have nowhere to hide. When I go and sit down in the couch to pout a bit in between the sets, you still see me.
I am very happy about it. Oh.
Now it's hiding mode.
Damn it. Welcome back to our.
Thank you. My laptop went out of power, so but now I'm back.
No problem. Good. So the straightening out is better. Small, straight up and down. You just need to stay a little bit close to the wall with the feet on the way, but it's good. And Clara, the chin to chest in the straddle position looks good. Very good, actually. Yay. You can think about actually all of you working on the chin to chest in whatever shape, basically. One thing you can try to think of as a cue, and you can use that for a lot of different things. And for some people it works very well. You just think about, I'm going to try to think that I'm going to try to reach my body, make it as long as possible up towards the ceiling. And of course, it's easiest to think about in a straight, because then it means straightening my legs as much as possible, pointing my toes, whatever. Where if I'm in a straddle, it's mostly just about making, from my wrist and to my butt, trying to make that as long as possible. All right. It's just a way to make an external cue that I'm thinking that I'm trying to reach my body up towards the ceiling. Hilda, that looked so nice. Very, very good.
Yeah, it felt good.
Yeah, very solid. All right, Albert, can I see the one where you jump into a tuck? Try to open up into a diamond and see if you can find the balance there. And if it works, opening all the way up to straddle. Cool. Fine, Albert. So that ain't gonna give you too many technical cues. I just want to say that at the point where you're at right now, because of some of your attempts, the tuck is super solid. So it's like it's nice to introduce playing around with changing shapes a little bit as soon as the position starts to be solid. But we also know that at the place where we should just forget about also working just on the shape that you're actually holding. Okay. So both in these classes, but also when you're doing handstands on your own, spend some time doing the tuck and just getting tuned into the position. And if it's a position where balance is a bit off, maybe it's just going to be working on the tuck, and that's fine. But on days where it feels nice, definitely go for changing up and playing a bit with changing shapes.
I get this really burning sensation in my right shoulder, and I don't really know why. Doesn't feel like it's a super bad pain. It just really burns.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to tell you what it is, but I can tell you that in this area at least, this is basically the handstand muscles. So getting some burning, well, standing for at least the kind of burning that you get from working out in longer sets is very common. But it's a bit hard to tell, both because I'm not a doctor and also we're talking through a camera. So I would say if it doesn't feel like it's very uncomfortable, won't worry too much about it. But it's if it's only on one side, then maybe it could be that you need maybe you're pressing a little bit better from the right side, and maybe the left side needs to like even out a little bit. Maybe we could just try that and see if that feels different when you do the handstand. Okay, and Andreas, this changing head position while changing leg shapes, you should just keep on doing that because it looks so good.
Yeah, it's there, but it's not there, but it's almost there.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you can always play around and see what shapes are a bit more solid to change, you know, between. So for the days where balance is a bit harder, those are the ones you're going to go to, and for the days where it's hard, when it's feeling solid, or if you just want to YOLO a bit, you can always go for things like, you know, changing from maybe from tuck to half pike, for example, while also changing the head position. Some of these like weird, difficult ones. Cool. Okay. So Hilda, Andres, and Clara, I think you should decide for yourself, and we're going to move a little bit on, whether you want to spend some time now working on the hands together handstand we talked about before, or if you would like to spend some time working on just like the basic flagging for the one arm. Okay, and it's not like you have to tell me what to decide. You can just say what, Clara?
I'm just so happy that my name is mentioned in the same sentence as Hilda and Andres.
Yeah, it is quite the honor. All right. Okay, Thor. It's looking pretty decent. But Thor, can we try one time where we go into a straight handstand and then we go down into a tuck instead? So we're just going to reverse the movement.
Hold for the.
Don't worry, Thor. You're still a good, you know, a good person. Good, Andreas. Great. Okay, Thor, this was better. Can we try it one more time and just get your hands a little bit closer to the wall? Good. Okay, Thor. This is nice. It's just right now, also just for today, we're kind of in between where you can do it freestanding and where you need a little bit of support from the wall. So let's just try one more time now, where you're thinking that it's okay to touch the wall as long as there's no weight on the wall, right? So actually, I want you to try and follow the wall with your feet Once you get all the way into the straight position, see if you can find some balance. Hold for a few seconds, come back to the wall, come into the tuck, see if you can find the balance for a few seconds. All right? Right on.
With the hands together, I've noticed that when I'm like in this position, it's fine. But when I start overlapping like the thumb part of the left arm, like here, then it comes super hard. And should I more like think about that I will just cross or have this part of my hand more on the ground? But it's like, should I just do it more, or is there any
I would
quick
say
fix for that?
you could basically do both.
Yeah.
But I think you should definitely try this one.
Yeah.
And see how that feels. But I mean, there's gonna be a point where you're just gonna have like to deal with this being a little bit weird.
Yeah.
But it can be a nice transition doing it this way, because we're still like making the base of support. We're still making the exercise harder, just in a little bit of a different way, and that can be a nice way to go as well.
Yeah, because it feels like I'm not using the left arm almost at all, because it's like so oddly on top. But I will just go for it.
Yeah, but I'll try the other variation as well. Nice, Hilda. Okay, so just a small thing, Hilda. It's not a technical cue, just something nice to know, but it's just that when you're able to go from the straddle and collect the legs, and you're actually able to hold the balance in this position, that means that the balance in the position is probably quite good. So it looks like just basically the thing that's hard for you right now is just like the jump up into the position.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
I think I have to just nail it to get into the position. Sometimes I go like from here and then I start overlapping it because it feels easier.
Yeah, but I think it's also fine, like in the beginning when we work on our basic kick up, you can also be at a place where you know you can hold the handstand if you just come off the wall, but you don't have the kick up yet, right? So it's basically the same idea. So you're just spending some time working on the control in your entrance, even though you actually have the position pretty solid. Okay. Andreas, that looks nice. The flagging there, yeah. All right. Clara and Andres, like just both of you, it looks decent it looks good from what I can see actually, but can you maybe both do one where you have your back straight towards the camera? Good. Nice, Clara. Good work. Just one thing I would say, Clara, is keep fighting to push down into the ground, because there were a few points where your arm just comes down to slightly not straight. All right. And I would also like you to try one time to try to set up with your stomach towards the wall in a straddle position, and just to try to do the flagging position from there. It's a little bit hard to see from my angle, but it looks like there's just like a slight amount of twisting going on. And it's not like that is going to destroy everything. Some people need a little bit of twisting in their flags, but you might also not need it, and then it's going to be more stable if you have a feeling for what's going on. So what the wall is just going to do, of course, it's going to help you a little bit with balance and just let you feeling the flagging motion, but it's also going to make it impossible for you to twist because it's a wall and it doesn't move. So
yeah, I mean, I haven't ever like really gotten so much cues for this. So is the foot that's going down, is the goal to get it down to the hand, right? Not in front, maybe.
yeah, like
Yeah.
textbook, we want the feet to stay in line. And I mean, depending on for you, it's basically going to be on the same line as your hands. But
Yeah.
that can be a little bit
Because now
depending
I've just
on the
been-
width of your straddle. Yeah.
Because I've been going in front, like I can feel that I do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you
I
actually,
don't know that we're supposed to. No, I know.
if you have your hands here, it looks a little bit like your leg would come down a little bit to this side of your hands. Yeah. Hila, just one thing for your entrance to this handstand with the hands together. It's just like basically the same principle as we do like the kneeling tug up, where we try to get the same feeling of controlling it by pushing a little bit into the ground. You can actually try to see if you can find a little bit of that feeling even with hands together. Then I'm trying to push a little bit into the ground and trying to control the movement by pushing with my shoulders.
Yeah.
As I jump. But it can be a little bit also weird to get the same kind of like feeling of what's going on because of this change shoulder position getting close together. But it is there somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's harder to maybe save if it goes a bit too far, because normally when I have the hands like this, I can just let the shoulders go a bit to go kind of to a 7-ish.
Definitely.
Here I can't,
Yeah.
but I will try.
Good, Albert. Okay, people, it's just gonna be about the last handstand of the day, at least with me. Good, Hilda. Nice.
It feels really good when I get there, but it's just
Yeah.
getting
the
to
way
the
there.
position is hard, because I can move my legs here when I'm there, but then the going up is tough.
And it's like if you overshoot it, it's almost impossible to catch because you have to be so strong in the fingers. But you can build up more control on like the underbalance side of things. So if I don't kick quite enough and I catch it early, then I can over time find this connection and use my shoulders to press into the position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, Andreas. Nice, Albert. It's getting solid, the tuck. Yeah. It would be like if you want an absolute textbook tuck, you just want to press a little bit high in the shoulders and just open just a little bit more. And then you have like this this completely straight line from the hands and to the butt, which is you know what the federation wants. All right. But otherwise, guys, we actually went a bit over time.
Somebody has been listening to the handstand cast.
I was just thinking about the same.
But haven't you all? I mean, that's part of you guys' homework.
Federation.
It is the federation.
Clara has no idea what we're talking about.
Clara, you're not gonna get good grades now. All right, people. So until next time, I want you all to have listened to what is the like 51 episodes now of the handstand cast. So that's only about, and I mean, they're not all an hour. Some of them are a little bit less. So maybe it's only about 45 hours of listening to podcasts before we meet next week. Oh no, we're not going to meet next. You have a whole week of Easter holiday to get through all the podcasts. Easy.
Yeah, and have some vacation.
2 weeks.
And it's super easy word choices that they use, and it's very like calming to listen to it.
For live podcast.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a pub quiz when you come back, and
Like a hoot.
yeah, and if you don't get enough correct answers, then I'll just kick you out of the Zoom meeting. All right. No, but seriously, thank you for today, guys. I really enjoyed these nice cozy classes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Same to you. Have a nice Easter holiday. I'm not gonna see you next week. But
Hyvää pääsiäistä.
all right. Take care, people.
Hej då.
Hej då. Ha det bra.